Welcome back, you gorgeous and beautiful people from the internet. My name is Manzi Crypto, and today we're going to discuss Chainz Arena MOBOX Edition Season 2 New Euros update and all these things, you know. So, if you guys are a Chainz Arena fan, there's going to be a lot of updates coming into Season 2, and then also roughly about 2 or 3 weeks into Season 2 as well. There's going to be new stuff getting released for the game, so they are trying to expand it, and let's maybe go through the things. So the first thing we're gonna go through right now is the Chainz Arena new Euros. So there's not a lot of Euros out at this very moment, and now they're gonna release quite a few new Euros. Well, you know, on MOBOX edition, it's new. So obviously, some of them is gonna be strong. Some of them are, you know, just there. Maybe some people would use them. I still believe that the main deck that you should go with is what everyone is going with already. Blue still remains the strongest element in the game, whether you're playing with gold or legendary cards. And I'll make a full guide and tutorial about everything because there's going to be a very nice tournament going on early next season, which I'll cover everything inside the game for you guys. So first thing I want to talk about is the Hollow's Hollow. This is a Euro that is pretty decent in the original Chainz Arena. But in the MOBOX edition, he seems to be a little bit nerfed. The Fire Hollow's Hollow was insanely strong on the original. However, on this one, they seem to do back row damage, which is kind of weird. The Earth one. The Water one over here is going to deal 300% attack damage to a random enemy at the back row. So that is a decent one. However, the one I know does 600% attack damage to a random back enemy. And that is the Fire Hollow's Hollow. So let's see over here. So far, these two are pretty terrible. I wouldn't play with either of them. There's better cards to choose from when it comes to Earth and Water. Way better than Water. So let's see over here. Queen Titania. Deals 260% attack damage to 2 random enemies and have an 80% chance to inflict 160% attack of bleed damage for 2 rounds. That is a pretty decent Earth card, to be honest. And then you have also deal 360% attack damage to a random enemy, inflict 220% bleeding damage for 2 rounds. So they pretty much do the same thing. There's a little bit of a difference. So this one has an 80% chance. This one will always do it. So the nature one is most probably the one you would go with, right? The Earth one is decent, but the nature one is really good compared to what other natures there is. Then we have Nebra. Nebra Earth actually was a meta card for a very long time. But we'll cover that maybe later, because, I mean, we're not even halfway through the scroll bar here yet. So deal 200% attack damage to enemies within the front row and have a 70% chance to inflict overtime damage for 2 rounds. Not good. There's way better nature water cards. This is gold cards, by the way, that I'm covering right now. This is epic. I saw it right now. So when it comes to epic, they're pretty decent. However, I would still not go with the water one. With the fire one, this one is pretty good actually. Deal 200% attack damage to front row enemies and have a 70% chance to stun them. So the one thing I want to mention is if you want to focus on PvE, Euros like these are terrible because normally there's 1 card in the front or 2, depending on where the boss is. If the boss is in the front, it's actually worse because this card will do less damage. It will do 200% to all front rows. And if there's only 1 card in there, it will only do 200% to that 1 card. So in PvP, this is really good. But in PvE, you're going to struggle to rank with cards like these. If you have cards that will attack only all enemies or back row or front row, you're going to have a bad time trying to compete for ranks. Then we have Necromancer here. This is also a card that I used. I used the Earth one. In my actual original deck back in the day. So deal heals 2 Euros with the lowest HP for 120% of attack and make them immune for 1 round. That is really good. It's like a little heal and a little cleanse with immunity. So it's a pretty good card, this. I would definitely go this if you're gonna play Epic. Nature seems to be more appealing to me right now. And then obviously water. So, but that's only with Epic cards. Legendary, I still believe it's gonna be fire and water. And then we have Necromancer Fire here. Heal all heroes for 240% of attack. That's also really good, to be honest. Then we have Taurus here. Deal 200% attack to the enemies in the back row and increase the resistance of all allied heroes by 40% for 3 rounds. That's pretty good, making your team a lot more tankier. Resistance is only abilities, if you guys didn't know. Like overtime bleeds and stuff like that also gets resisted. When it comes to auto attacks, resistance does nothing for you. That is purely just armor. So just keep that in mind if you want to build out a deck for yourself. Deal 160% attack damage to all enemies and reduce their armor by 20%. So this is exactly what I'm talking about right now. It doesn't reduce their resistance, right? It reduces their armor. So your auto attacks will do a lot more damage. Or physical damage will do a lot more damage. Then you have Hollow's Hollow here. You can see this is a legendary now. This is a Wood Hollow's Hollow. Deals 600% to a random back row enemy. Yep. And then passive attack plus 20%. Okay, this is not a passive, right? Okay, technically it is. Okay, for every allied killed, the damage increased by 20%. So if you lose, his damage increases. And then the fire one, this one was actually meta back in the day. Deal 300% attack damage to a random enemy at the back row. And inflict 180% attack bleed. This is not good. This is not good at all. You know, this is the problem here. Right? Fire already has really good cards. Like, I couldn't decide which one to go with. And this one right here, not great. It does 1 damage, and then it overtimes pretty much the same amount for 2 rounds. If you want to play a deck that will destroy an enemy at round 3, this card is definitely not it, right? Because it might attack the same guy twice. It's the highest attack, right? So the randomness is not great or not stable enough. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of... There's already so many really good cards that is red, so I don't know. That is fire, sorry. And then the passive is... for every enemy killed, the damage increases by 20%. Still not good enough, I believe. Then we have Queen Titiana. Titana? Goodness, why can't I pronounce his name? Deal 200% attack damage to the 2 enemies with the highest attack and have an 80% chance to inflict 120% attack of bleed damage for 2 rounds. That is decent though, but it's... When it comes to blue cards, I don't think she has a slot. Unless you get this card for very cheap, right? Immune to bleed damage. That is decent in PvE. At least. In PvP, not so much. In PvE, it's really good, right? Because the fire boss is really strong. And then we have the Fire Queen. So, deal 200% attack damage to enemies at the back row. And have a 70% chance to inflict 120% attack of bleed damage. So, not great. But it's a back row. Again, not great for PvE. Very good for PvP. All AoE attack damages you have for PvP is really good. But single target, if you want to focus on both, a single target might be the better bet for you, by the way. And then we have the passive here, 20%. Okay, increase 50% damage to the target under bleeding damage. So if you play a full deck that has at least 3 cards that has bleed, and put this guy's speed, you can see this is the speed icon right here that says 776. If you make it a little bit slower than someone else that will also apply bleed, then you can get this buff pretty much every time. Unless the card dies, right? And then Nebra Earth, I'm a huge fan of this. Let's see if it's still very good. Deal 160% attack damage to all enemies and have a 50% chance to reduce their 20% attack for 3 rounds. And have a 50% chance to reduce their 20% attack for 3 rounds. Okay, I'm not great at English, right? I'm not a English magician or anything like that, but I think that doesn't make sense. Okay. So it has a 50% chance to reduce 20% attack for 3 rounds on the people it does attack. So again, Nebra is nerfed quite a bit because that 50% chance that is over here, this 50% chance, wasn't there in the previous game. It was always. The 3 people it does hit will always get the 20% attack debuff. This 50% chance thing, I don't think that's great. Maybe they're gonna increase something and then you can, I don't know, upgrade the ability to make it 100%. I don't know. And this is why Nebra was meta, actually, back in the day. When the round ends, if debuff is more than 2 or equal to 2, immediately purify and full heal. It is insanely strong. Like, against the fire boss, he does not die. He's always full health. Unless he gets one-shotted, but most of the time he doesn't. Also, just want to clarify for you guys, if you do play this card, if this card is stunned during that purify time, right? It's the start of the round. Oh, it's the end of the round. But back in the day, it didn't purify and full heal if that card was stunned. Okay, I just want to put that out there. The card cannot be stunned, and then it has to have 2 debuffs or more. Then you have Nebra Nature, deal 160% attack to all enemies, and have a 50% chance to stun them for 1 round. Passive, let's see here. After death, revive and restore 50% of health. That's pretty good. That is pretty good. However, this passive, not that great. The thing is, nature overall, like only Gunner is really good, right? Oh, and also the mage. Yeah, you can definitely play nature. There's a good mage that if she dies, she does 600% damage. Then you have Gunner, which does percentage damage, really, really good in PvE. Every attack she does is 5% of the enemy's health, plus her attack. It's really good against bosses. But then for the third one, I would go with the healer that makes you immune. I would still not play Nebra in there. And Necromancer, this is also a card I played. Heal 2 heroes with the lowest HP for 160% of attack and increase their attack by 20% for 3 rounds. This wasn't the ability though. Necromancer back in the day attacked everyone. It was an all attack ability, and it will also increase all your heroes' attack by 20% for 3 rounds. So that, I feel this is a nerf, but it does have a heal effect now. The damage it did wasn't that much, but the buff was insane. Your whole team 20% attack. That is really good. So when HP is lower than 60%, heal all allied for 200% of the attack and become invulnerable for... Okay, so this is still the same than what it was in the original. So it's still a very good card, by the way. Let's see, if I play Earth, what would I play? I would play Sorcerer, definitely. Like, there's no brainer about that. I think Earth Sorcerer is by far the strongest Earth card. I most probably Earth Tank, right? There wasn't a really good healer. I would play Necromancer then. I would definitely play Necromancer then. Because there's no third really good card. Oh, there is. Phantom Fox. Phantom Fox is really good. Okay, then Earth couldn't be your tank. Water can't be your tank either, to be honest. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. That is a good card, by the way. So Necromancer Earth is the only good card so far I would recommend for Legendary if you're playing Earth. Okay, so Necromancer Water. Heal 2 heroes with the lowest HP and 160% attack and restore 20% damage received for... Reduce 20% damage received for 3 rounds. Okay, this is not bad. It will make your tank tankier. So heal 8% of own HP. Heal 8% of own HP for all allied heroes for each heroes killed. Holy shit, dude. That it does make sense, but holy crap. The way they explained it. Heal 8% of own HP for all allied heroes for each heroes killed. First of all, like, you can't spell heroes like this and then spell it like this next. Like, come on, dude. And then have a capital there and not... I don't know. Okay, so that is first things first. The second thing, it should be heal 8% of own health if any allied heroes kill an enemy. Done. Right? Right. That is it. That is English. Okay, please. I don't know what this is. Please, guys, come on. Some of the descriptions, I don't like it. Deal 2... Okay, by the way, my take on this card, really good, right? Because there's only 2 really good water legendary cards. There's 3 really good, but... So Gunner, but Gunner is extremely expensive. Then you have Water Iris, which is very expensive. Then you have... I don't know his name. It's the... Wait, I have the game open here on my second PC. It's Curse Blade. So Curse Blade is the 3rd best water card. When it comes to the 4th position, there's really nothing, right? So either you play those 3 legendaries, or you go to Epic. But if you want to play now another legendary instead of Iris, this is a very, very good substitute. This is an insanely good substitute. It does quite a bit of healing, it reduces the damage taken, and also it heals himself. Really good card. Really, really good card. Is it as good as Water Iris? There's no way, right? Water Iris is god tier card. I think she has to get nerfed, but I don't know. I don't think that's gonna happen. So deal 200% attack. So this is Taurus now and Nature. Deal 200% attack to enemies with the back row, and have a 70% chance to taunt them for 1 round. Taunt is really good in this game. It's not as great as Confuse or as Stun, but it's a CC. And a 70% chance, that's pretty good. And then the passive, when HP is lower than 60%, gain a shield of 200% of attack and continue to heal 200% for 5 rounds. So this guy will pretty much fully heal himself. Right? He will fully heal himself with a shield. So after Taurus go to 60% health, he will go to full health again. Unless you play Earth Sorcerer and remove that buff from him. So, deal... Okay, this is the Water Taurus. Deal 160% attack to all enemies and have a... And increase the resistance of all allied heroes by 40% for 3 rounds. Okay. When HP is lower than 60%, silence the 2 enemies with the lowest HP. Okay, not great. This is not a good card at all. I wouldn't play it. So there's all the heroes that is coming out to Chainz the Arena within the next season. So it's gonna be great. There's only like... Okay, for if you're playing Epic, there's quite a few Epic cards that is decent, right? But when you're playing Legendary, I think only Water Necromancer is worth picking up. If you're not gonna play the 3 that is really good, right? So it's a very hard thing to judge, in my opinion. But Water Necro is decently good. The nature Hollow's Hollow is still decently good, right? The Earth Nebra is still good. But I don't think I would play anything else. Yeah, so Water Necro, Earth Nebra, and then Wood Hollow's Hollow. That is the three that I think is good. But let me know in the comment section below what you guys think. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy, leave a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I'll check you guys out in the very next video. Love you guys. Take care. And as always, remember to twist some nips. Take care. Bye-bye.